Welcome to the Action Hero Podcast. Buckle up, because we've got two absolutely wild stories of survival today against impossible odds. We're talking about fighting back when everything's stacked against you.
Yeah, we've got some incredible narratives to dig into today. Really showcases the amazing things people can do when they're pushed to the edge.
First up, we're heading straight to the Arctic. Imagine scientists in the most desolate, icy landscape you can think of. And they stumble upon a perfectly preserved alien spaceship. Pretty cool, right? But it takes a terrifying turn when they accidentally wake up the ship's occupants.
Talk about a nightmare scenario. It's like straight out of a movie.
Totally. They're completely stranded, freezing, and suddenly they have to fight for their lives.
Armed with basically nothing, right?
Yeah, just their wits and whatever they can find out there in the snow and ice.
It reminds me of that line, necessity is the mother of invention.
Right. It's incredible what people can do when they have no other choice. And that's exactly what we see in this first story, Furs and Fury. Starts with Dr. Emily Citato. She notices a weird glow coming from the ice.
Yeah, that's the first clue, that tiny detail that sets everything in motion. Makes you wonder, right? How many times in our own lives have we overlooked something small that turned out to be a big deal?
All the time, I bet. So they call in Ben Carter, the geologist on the team, and he takes one look and says, nope, that's not a meteorite.
Which would have been amazing enough, let's be honest.
Oh, totally.
Sure.
But this is something else entirely, something alien.
So they start digging, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine those weeks of excavation? The anticipation must have been incredible. Each swing of the pickaxe getting closer to, well, who knows what.
It's like opening a time capsule from another world. And these scientists, they're out there in the most brutal conditions. I mean, how do you even stay focused with the freezing wind and the constant threat of frostbite?
It's a testament to their dedication. The drive to uncover the unknown. It's deeply human, isn't it, that curiosity? But in this case, curiosity leads to a whole lot of trouble.
Because they finally get inside the spaceship.
Yeah.
And things go sideways fast.
It starts with the cryopod, right?
Yeah, the cryopod starts hissing. Then movement. One of the creatures starts to wake up.
Slowly opening these translucent eyelids, revealing these piercing obsidian eyes. Can you picture it?
It sends chills down my spine just thinking about it. And at first the scientists think, okay, maybe the cold weakened it. They're hoping it's harmless.
That's a classic mistake, isn't it? Underestimating the unknown. We try to fit new information into our existing understanding, even when it doesn't quite fit.
It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
And that's what gets them into trouble here, because all of a sudden the entire ship powers up.
And they realize it's not just one creature. There are more.
A lot more.
And these things are fast, predatory, armed with these weird organic-looking weapons, and they shoot these beams of light.
Deadly light by the sound of it. And their guns, totally useless. They can't even scratch the alien armor.
So they're trapped, outgunned, and outmatched. It's the ultimate test of survival. What do you do when everything you rely on fails?
It's a good thing these scientists are resourceful.
That's an understatement.
Because Ben, the geologist, has this crazy idea. He remembers the welding equipment they brought for repairs.
Ah, yes, the welding equipment, the key to their survival.
It's pretty ingenious, actually. They start melting down scrap metal, making shields and spears, basically turning their science outpost into a medieval forge.
And it's not just brute force, right? Dr. Zhu steps up with her own idea.
Dr. Zhu, always thinking ahead.
She's an expert in, well, a very specific type of energy. And she thinks, what if they could disrupt the alien biology? Target their weaknesses.
Yeah, she starts rigging up this makeshift microwave array. Talk about thinking outside the box.
Desperate times, desperate measures. And who knows, maybe she's onto something.
Well, they're about to find out, because the aliens attack head on, straight for their barricade.
It's the first real confrontation. The scientists against these unknown creatures.
And Emily, remember her? The one who spotted the glow?
The one who started it all, yeah.
She's right there on the front lines, wielding a rebar spear.
A rebar spear. I mean, can you imagine? From analyzing ice cores to stabbing alien creatures. Talk about a career change.
And Ben, the geologist, he's using a jagged metal shield to deflect those energy blasts.
They're literally fighting for their lives with whatever they can scrounge up. It's incredible. And then Zhu activates her microwave device.
Does it work?
It has an immediate effect. The creatures, they recoil. They're clearly affected by it.
That's got to be a huge relief, to see that their science, their knowledge is actually working against these things.
It's a glimmer of hope in a very dark situation. but it's a short-lived hope, unfortunately.
Because there are just too many of them. The barricade is starting to crumble. And they're running out of time.
Just when things are looking bleakest, there's a sound in the distance.
What is it? Reinforcements?
Not exactly. It's a military jet. They see it flying overhead.
But how? They're in the middle of nowhere.
Turns out there was an explosion on the alien ship earlier. Remember when they first got inside? It must have sent out some kind of signal. And luckily, that jet was in the area.
Talk about a stroke of luck. But how do they get the pilot's attention?
Zoo, she's quick on her feet. She grabs a spotlight, uses it to send an SOS signal, and the pilot, thankfully, he sees it.
And then what happens? Do they get rescued?
Well, not immediately. But they do get something even better.
Well,
weapons. Real weapons.
airdropped right to them. Now we're talking.
It's a game changer. Automatic rifles, grenades, even a rocket launcher.
Now the scientists have some serious firepower. But the aliens aren't giving up that easily.
They regroup.
Yeah.
Adapt to the new threat. This is what makes them so dangerous. They're resilient, intelligent, and they're determined to wipe out the humans.
This is where the real fight begins. The scientists, now armed with military-grade weapons, against a swarm of alien creatures. It's like something out of a sci-fi action movie.
The tension must have been incredible. Ben and Zoo, they start laying down suppressing fire, giving Emily time to get the rocket launcher ready.
And Emily, she remembers something crucial, something she noticed during that earlier explosion.
The alien ship's hull. It's damaged. There's a weak point.
And she takes aim. One shot. Directly at the fractured hull.
And the result is, well, it's pretty spectacular.
A direct hit. The ship explodes in a fiery blaze. The threat is neutralized. Finally.
Silence descends on the Arctic landscape. The only sounds are the ragged breaths of the survivors, and then the whirring of helicopter blade as the rescue team arrives.
What a story. From a scientific expedition to an all-out alien battle. And they survived, using their brains, their courage, and, let's be honest, a little bit of luck.
It makes you wonder what you'd do in a similar situation. What hidden strengths would you discover?
Now, let's switch gears completely, from the frozen Arctic to a dystopian future. This next story, Rust and Rebellion, is about a cyborg gladiator named Marcus. He's forced to fight in this brutal arena, but deep down, he yearns for freedom.
It's a story about breaking free from the chains, both physical and mental.
The story starts in the Colosseum. The crowd is roaring. The announcer's voice is booming through the speakers, introducing Marcus. Marcus the Mighty, the Butcher of Board Prime, the Undefeated.
It sounds like a spectacle, all blood and thunder.
It is. But beneath the surface, Marcus is struggling. You see, he's a slave, programmed to kill, but he has these flashes of memory, of a past he can't quite grasp.
A past that's been erased. And that's what sets him on this path of rebellion. He's fighting against his own programming.
And in his first fight, we see this conflict playing out. His opponent is this massive brute, enhanced with blades, a real killing machine.
But Marcus, he fights with a sword. And the way it's described in the sources, it's almost like a symbol, a link to an ancient warrior code.
He's not just a mindless killing machine. There's something else there, something deeper.
And you see it in the way he fights. He's skilled, precise. It's almost like he's trying to hold on to something, some shred of humanity.
But the crowd, they just want blood. They're chanting for him to finish off his opponent.
But Marcus, he does something unexpected, something that changes everything. He pulls out a blaster, a weapon he scavenged and hid from the arena masters.
What a blaster! That's not allowed, right?
Not at all. It's a direct violation of the rules. And the crowd, they're stunned. They've never seen anything like it.
It's a huge risk. If he's caught, it's game over. But he doesn't care. He's making a statement.
He's saying, I'm not your puppet anymore.
The brute is defeated, lying there in the sand. And Princess Lyra, the Emperor's daughter, she gives the order. Finish him. It's the expected outcome. The crowd is on its feet.
But Marcus, he hesitates. And then he does the unthinkable. He plunges his sword into the sand and drops his blaster.
He defies a direct order in front of everyone. That's suicide.
It's a moment of pure rebellion. He's choosing freedom, even if it costs him his life. And the crowd, they erupt in fury. They feel betrayed.
What happens next? They must punish him, right?
They do. He's thrown into prison. But his act of defiance has a ripple effect. People saw it. Princess Lyra saw it. And something changed in that moment.
What do you mean?
The seed of rebellion was planted.
So even in prison, Marcus is a threat.
Exactly. He's become a symbol of hope, of resistance, and his defiance spreads.
Oh, so.
Other gladiators start to rebel. Inspired by Marcus's courage, they steal weapons, turn against their masters. And Princess Lyra, she begins to question everything she's been taught. She sees the injustice of the Empire.
It's amazing how one person's actions can spark a revolution.
That's the power of a single act of defiance. It can ignite a fire that spreads like wildfire.
And that fire leads to a final confrontation, back in the Colosseum. But this time, it's not a gladiatorial spectacle, it's a battle for freedom.
The rebels, led by Marcus, storm the arena. They're fighting for their lives, for their future.
And Marcus, he fights his way to the Emperor's box to face the man who has enslaved him.
The Emperor, he's still arrogant. Can't believe what's happening. He underestimates Marcus's resolve.
And then, in this final showdown, Marcus does something symbolic again. He tosses aside his blaster and draws his sword.
He could have killed the Emperor right there. But he chooses to fight him on his own terms, with honor.
He tells the Emperor, "You programmed me to value loyalty, honor, freedom, and you've betrayed all of those things." It's a powerful moment.
He's fighting for something bigger than himself. He's fighting for the soul of his people.
The duel is intense, brutal. But in the end, Marcus disarms the Emperor. He stands over him, victorious.
The crowd is going wild. They're not cheering for blood anymore. They're cheering for justice.
And Marcus, he could kill the Emperor, but he doesn't. He walks away, leaving the tyrant to the mercy of the crowd.
He chooses mercy over vengeance. It's a powerful statement. The rebellion is victorious. The Emperor is overthrown. But the fight for freedom, it's just beginning.
Wow. Two incredible stories. Frozen Fury and Rust and Rebellion, both about survival, about courage, about the human spirit triumphing over adversity.
In Frozen Fury, we see the power of human ingenuity, of using science and resourcefulness to overcome the impossible. It makes you think about what you're capable of when pushed to your limits.
And in Rust and Rebellion, we see the power of defiance, of one person's courage inspiring others to fight for freedom. It makes you realize that even the smallest act of rebellion can have a huge impact.
These stories are more than just entertainment. They're reminders of the strength that lies within us all, the power to overcome challenges, to fight for what's right.
So what resonated with you the most? What moments stood out? We'd love to hear your thoughts, share your reactions, your interpretations. Let's keep the conversation going.
Thanks for joining us for another thrilling episode of the Action Hero Podcast.
Well, yes.
Tune in next time for more incredible stories of courage and resilience.
And don't forget to rate and follow for more action-packed adventures.
See you next time.
Until then, stay heroic.